Okay, today we're going to talk about the difference between match pellets and training pellets. Now, what you see in front of me are training pellets, and they're a good degree cheaper than a match pellet, which can be $20 a tin or more. So we have the 880 in the background, and for the first time on the channel, I'm going to show Daisy Royalty. All right, there it is, there's the barrel weight, there is the barrel with the match rifling, and I have a bug buster on it. Okay, now the bug buster I had the adapter and the bug buster ready to go looking for a home, and it's very happy on this 753. Now I show that because that is a fine rifle and can deliver one hole accuracy up to 15 yards with an effective range of about 20 yards, and you can do field work with it. Right, there's a lot of veterans of the adult single pumps, that's a single pump, who really like that gun. All right, so in the background you see my custom made 880, and let's go ahead and talk now about these pellets. We're going to start with the Gamos, which have the least consistency and the most problems, but when they're right, when the individual pellet is actually right, they shoot well. Okay, so one thing I learned with these pellets in the 880, my unit, you do your own testing, of course. I just want to help people get to a running start. All right, anything under 5 pumps with any of these Wadcutters, it just didn't have enough drive to go down the rifling to maintain a good solid group at 15 yards. And the Gamos actually did okay on 4 pumps. So on 4 pumps, as far as field shooting, it looked okay. We have some loose misses here, and the Gamo was the only one that did well on 4 pumps out of that batch. And they're about 7.5 grains, so they're a lighter pellet. They look good in the youth rifles, like the single pumps. Remember, that 753 I showed you is an adult match rifle. Okay, so now on 5 pumps for 10 shots, now I want to make clear, I'm not taking responsibility for that. I know that was a good shot and the pellet just sailed on me. And so this shot right here came a little high, in line. I would consider that 9 out of 10 in the field. But yeah, so 8 out of 10 technically, and that's about the average of the Gamos that is, in my 880. So to conclude talking about the Gamos for now is, they're the most expensive in this batch you see here. So it's $6 to $7 for 250. So, so $12 to $14 for 500. But they actually are pretty good. And when the individual pellet is made right, and this is, just some of the criticisms, they do shoot well. Okay, but let's go ahead and step up to the next one now. Now, the Simply pellet, let's take a look at this. A lot of people are not familiar with this. So it's JSB. JSB has godlike QC. Their quality control is really off the charts, and they consider this one okay. They're really humble with it, and surprisingly so. It is a very good pellet, and this is about $10 for 500. Okay, and those shoot very good. And now the 880 and that 753, let's take a look. Okay, so now the top one's a smooth bore, so let's go ahead and just fold this over and get to this. Okay, so with the 753, 5 for 5, almost one hole accuracy, and I was not expecting that. Very casual shooting from a basic rest. Again, the ranges are 15 yards. Most people you talk to, they think Wadcutters basically are for 15 yards and under. You can push it to 20, but yes, somewhere around 15 yards, and that I just wasn't expecting it. A match pellet can get one hole accuracy out of the 753, and that's really close, and I'm pretty happy with that. And the Simply pellets out of the 880. Now this is another one. This is my best one with a scope on it. Okay, that's a dime, and so that looked really good. Almost shot it out, and then one caught the top, so I just shot 5 shots there. So they look good in the 880 and superb in the 753. All right. So let's take a little bit more steady time on the Simply pellets. So at 4 pumps, I just stopped at 5 shots because I just got some loose shots, and that wasn't shooter error. And then I went to 5 pumps, and it grouped up really nicely. Now remember, they're training pellets, meaning that I'm not messing with the sights. They have a primary pellet. I have a primary pellet for this 880 and back, and I didn't want to mess with the sights. just wanted to get some shooting in. So I'm very happy. So 5 pumps. Now I would say this for all of those pellets is that they all started performing better at 5 pumps. It's just a matter of, okay, then where do they separate themselves? Like the Econs, which I've been very excited about on this channel, and everybody who's tried it in the youth rifles. Remember, a single pump youth rifle is different than that match rifle. Has liked these, but my 753 doesn't care for these very much. All right, so, but they are pretty good in the 880. So $5 for 500, but they're touchy. So I noticed under 5 pumps, they didn't look that great. Over 5 pumps, they fly all over the place. At 5 pumps, it's a Goldilocks thing, and then they grouped up pretty well. All right, so, okay, so now we get the Simply and the Sport pellets. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And the Sport pellets, these are been around for decades, and I do take responsibility for that. That's not the pellet. I'm going to defend the Sport pellet there. I was rocking and rolling, chewing this up. Nice little group there. So 10 shots, and I was firing really fast, pretty casual shooting, and then I pulled that low one to the right. So that's me. That's not the Sport pellet. I'm going to defend it. The average with the Sport pellet out of that gun with open sights is 9 out of 10 or 10 for 10. I definitely can get those. The Econs, this was one of the better groups, so that's all good in the field. 9 out of 10 here are good in the field. And so my average for Econs in the 880 is usually about 8 out of 10. With some of these sometimes open up a little bit wider. Not as bad as that though. So this is a really good group for the Econs. But okay, so even in there, the misses are very close though. So the Econs look good. So, but what I'm saying is, so 5 pumps, these things are a little finicky, and 880 with the power, and so 5 pumps. So 5 pumps for $5 for 500. That's a good deal. And I just want to conclude talking about the Gamos, saying that if I could not get the Sports, Simply, or the Econs, those 3, then I would buy the Gamos. And I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so now let's step up and talk more about the Sports against the Simply pellets. Is that these have been around for a long, long time. These are relatively new by comparison, and they're just great pellets. They're both good, $8, $10, and I would say that for an 880, they have some advantages because they come in at about 8 grains, and you can go 6 to 7 pumps, and you can push power behind these. I mean, you can give them more drive, and they'll hold their accuracy. Not so touchy as those other little ones. So yeah, so probably the one that I'm most excited about, even though I definitely would not hesitate to buy another 10 of the Sport pellets, is probably the Simply. The Simply is simply a great deal, and JSB can be humble if they want to, but they are good pellets, and I was not expecting that level of accuracy out of my 753 or my 880 with a training pellet. Okay, thank you very much, and have fun. I really think that these 2 would be best for your 880 for training, but the Econs, as long as you can deal with some occasional flyers, are also a lot of fun. Okay, thank you.